You might be at a museum looking at your favorite painting and wondering if there's any way to know more about the meaning of the painting other than the obvious. And the painting might be several centuries old and the artist might no longer be around, so you can't ask the artist. But the artist, especially if they're a famous artist, knows that the painting likely will outlive them. And so they want to put all the information into the painting itself. And there are several ways that you can look at additional meaning in a painting or a drawing or a sculpture. And that is, first of all, the title can have different meanings. For example, Jack Vetriano's The Duelists is a picture of two card players, but if you look at the painting for enough time, you'll notice that everything in the painting is paired. There's two of everything, a duelist. There's other ways, several meanings in the title, or a hidden object is another way that people can put information in a painting. Allegory and symbolism, often in a hidden object, is another way. But the most complex way that artists have used secret methods of communicating in a painting is what I call multi-referencing. And that is taking several works of art by a single artist, taking parts from those works and incorporating it into a single artwork. And this has been done, the earliest example that I've found of multi-referencing is by Cimabue in what's called the Kitchen Cimabue, which recently sold at auction for, I think, $18 million or $12 million. And the Kitchen Cimabue multi-references Guido of Siena, and that is, the Kitchen Cimabue was from 1265 or so AD. And then Cimabue's pupil, Giotto de Bondone, multi-referenced several works in his Scrovegni Chapel frescoes, which he completed in 1305. And he traveled the world, or had someone travel the world and make drawings of several famous frescoes in churches and caves, and then made his pictures out of those. And almost all museum collected artists, unless it's a Jackson Pollock painting, used multi-referencing. And all the great names in art used multi-referencing. Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci, up until the present day. And so in order to tell more about the painting and also to communicate with other living artists, artists would often multi-reference other living artists. And if that other artist noticed, they could multi-reference back, and there could be a conversation in the art back and forth. And I would say to look at groups of artists that are famously together, like the Italian Renaissance artists or the Dutch masters, or artists even from the 19th century and early 20th century who got together in different schools of art, would often multi-reference back and forth. It's sort of like a message in a bottle, but more like a coded broadcast, if you know what to look for. Often multi-referencing would have a famous or well-known clue that would give you an idea that a certain artist was being multi-referenced. And the multi-references are small for the most part. Just a small fraction of a line or a shape or a few lines or a gesture, or if the person is in a painting, the way their head is viewed by the viewer as a clue to what's being multi-referenced. And by itself, multi-references could just be discarded as coincidence. But when you look at several works of art by the artist, and each work of art has a small part that's incorporated in the multi-referenced work, the work that multi-references the other artists, then you know that the probability is much more likely that that was a deliberate multi-reference. So when you're looking for multi-references in a particular artist, a good way to begin is to take all the art that the artist produced and organize them chronologically, and then see if that artist may have multi-referenced another living artist, and then to look at the date of that work of art and see if that artist referenced back and forth to know a little more about what's going on in a work of art. So the secret to the world's art is contained in the rest of the world's art. So if you take a look, you'll be surprised how much more information you can find. I write about this in my newsletter, Art Analysis by John R. Shipp, and I'll also try and produce more videos on social media showing this technique. Thanks for watching.